Good morning. This is West Coast Grandma coming to you with a video on this beautiful, sunny, bright day in Mill Bay, British Columbia, Canada. My name is Elizabeth, and today I am going to be spending time in the garden, and I'm going to be showing you one of my favorite things, one of my most fun things to do in the garden, that is planting out my tomatoes. I love tomatoes. I do so many things with tomatoes that I think I've got 65 plants that I'm putting in this year. I did cut down. Last year I had about 90 plants in, and it's pretty overwhelming. I probably had 300 to 400 pounds of tomatoes, but like I say, I use them all. So today we are going to be planting out the tomatoes, and one of the most important things to do when you're going to plant out any kind of vegetable is to get everything ready. So I spent the morning organizing my tomato plants, getting my fertilizer, bone meal, and I put an egg in the bottom of every one of my tomato plants. That was something that I learned from Roots of Refuge Farm and from her channel. That's it seems to make a difference to me. I don't know. I just drop the egg in and smack it a couple of times with my knife, and then I plant my tomato on top of that. So lucky for me, my friend at Flatland Farms, Karen, gave me about 4 or 5 dozen eggs that are either small or misshaped, and I've got those already too. So again, the main thing is to get everything ready. I do have them all placed, as you can see down my row there. There they all are. They're all placed. I'm putting them a little bit close together this year. I didn't want to put them that close together. Probably 18 inches would have been good or ideal, but I want to put a lot of tomatoes in. So I have this section, and then I have another section where I just put different kinds of cherry tomatoes. So I'm going to get everything set up here, and then I will go through the process of how I plant my tomatoes. So here I am ready to start planting my tomatoes, and as you can probably see, one of the things that I do that's not ideal is I plant my tomatoes right along this fence. I have all my onions in already, so it's a little awkward, but once I get them in, it's pretty good. I prune them from the outside of the fence. This was the best thing ever. I tried it with trellises, but this fence works perfect, and the sun is on the plants all day. Like I say, I can tie. I have all my little tie things here to just keep propping them up, and I just keep them trimmed. I get the stem probably about this high up, so probably a good foot to 18 inches. I clear the bottom once it gets bigger and just have all the foliage and the fruit all at the top. So anyways, I've dug my hole here, a nice deep hole, and I'm just going to pop in a handful of my organic fertilizer and a handful of bone meal and pop an egg in, like so. Give it a little smash, and then I take my plant. And I do keep all my containers. I mean, at the price these days, I can't afford to throw them all out. So I hang on to my containers, and I'm going to trim these bottom leaves off. And there we go. And I'm going to pop it right down as far as it'll go. The deeper the better, because we all know that tomatoes will develop more roots on the stem. So as long as it's planted nice and deep, that's a great thing. So I'll just put that in. And then I cover it back up with my mulch. And I pre-did the mulch already. It is just Simply Straw, it's called. And I really like the Simply Straw because it's packed in a bag, nice and tight. I did this whole bed, which is probably 70 feet or more. I did the whole thing with one bag, and I think it was $13.99. And the nice thing is there's no seeds in it, and it's also cut very small. I notice lots of people use regular hay or straw for mulch, but I just find that it just doesn't break down fast enough. So I kind of prefer the Simply Straw. So again, I've got them probably a little bit too close here, probably maybe only 14 or 16 inches apart. But I'm going to go ahead and just just get one more big hole. These ones are one of my total favorite tomatoes, Dr. Witchy's Orange. I've had tomatoes, I think I got a 3-pound one. They're the most beautiful tomato you've ever seen. And the best thing of all is, of course, the toasted tomato sandwich for breakfast. Especially when you layer it with a couple of different kinds of tomatoes. It's so beautiful, and the best thing about summer in tomatoes is that toasted tomato sandwich. So there we go, a nice deep hole. I want to get those roots way down there. Beautiful black soil here. So egg, handful of bone meal, a little handful of fertilizer, and let's take my next Dr. Witchy, and we'll just trim off these bottom leaves like so. Yeah, they're just doing so well. I'm so happy with how they've all turned out. I'll break up the egg with my hoi hoi knife. Other best thing I ever had. This is about my 5th one. So I would recommend anybody that does gardening to get one of those, because they are the best. So we're just going to cover it all in. So, and replace the mulch. Once I get these all done, I'm going to water them all in. But for now, I'm just going to continue all the way down the aisle here and get all these things planted, and then I will catch you again. Well, I'm back again, and all that whole row is planted. Look at that. Before I turn the sprinkler on, I have an overhead sprinkler, and it's good. I can put it on for an hour and get everything good and wet. But anyways, so I've got 60 tomato plants in there, and I'm just going to take you for a little walk over to my other little tomato patch. All right. So this is all cherry tomatoes, and it gets a lot of sun too. And again, I just use that fence. So see, they're all along the back there. I've just watered those ones in, and I have another bag of Simply Straw, and I'm just going to go grab that and mulch everything. There we are. Before I leave you today though, I just want to take the time to just show you, even at this time of year, how I can get ourselves a great salad for dinner. There's not a lot growing, but the nice thing is for 2 people, you don't really need a lot. And when you have a garden this big, it looks like there isn't a lot, but actually it is. So here we have all my beautiful spinach. I'm just gonna go ahead here and pick some. So all we're gonna do is take a few of these outside leaves. I'm just gonna mix up a bunch of things together and make us a little salad for dinner with a few eggs, again from my friend at Flatland Farms. And we'll have an awesome salad. I'll just fry up a couple of chicken breasts and it'll be delicious. So this over here is Indian mustard. So it's from the endangered plant. It's an endangered seed from Salt Spring. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in too. Haven't tried it before. I'm not sure if it's pretty spicy or what, but we're going to give it a go. And then we're going to come over here. And I have a patch of kale. Yeah, and this kale all reseeded itself. So I've pulled so much out. But the nice thing is it's so tender. It's perfect just to chop up the way it is like this and add it to the salad. It'll just be a lot of nice taste. So I'm gonna get that. We'll get a few of those. And before we know it, I got a whole bucket of greens here that will be delicious for dinner. There we are. See that? I mean, that just took 2 minutes. So it's pretty nice to have all these things already growing. I'm going to come back a bit later and get some of my rhubarb. That's awesome, rhubarb. I'm going to make rhubarb curd for Mother's Day. to have with ice cream, so that's going to be pretty delicious too. Alrighty, so I hope you've enjoyed today. It was mostly about tomato planting, but also how you can make a great dinner this early in the year. I'll probably pick a few more little bits of things that are around, and I've got some mint and all kinds of good things to add. Oh yes, and the other thing I do have is my asparagus. Look at the size of those things. I'm gonna pick those and just cook those up for a couple of minutes and throw those on the top of the salad too. So it's gonna be delicious. So healthy, good. There's some lettuce. I'll grab a bit of lettuce here and we'll have our dinner. So hope you've enjoyed today. I hope you consider subscribing to my channel and hit the like button. And I will catch you again on West Coast Grandma. Bye-bye for now. And there we have the finished product for dinner tonight. Looks pretty darn delicious, and it was pretty easy and pretty quick to put together. Have a great night. See you again soon.